Welcome back to the video series where we talk about each Disney Lorcana color. Today we are going to talk about Ruby, which is probably the most powerful and action heavy color in the series. If you enjoy board control, challenging your opponent's characters, using powerful actions in a direct style, then Ruby is the color for you. Because Ruby is all about board control, challenger advantage, and being very direct. The first strength of Ruby is its strong challenges. Ruby features some of the best challenger stats in Lorcana, characters that excel in initiating battles and coming out on top. Maui Hero to All is a 6/5 character that has rush, so he can challenge the turn he comes down. Scar, vicious character, not only has rush, he can ready himself after banishing a character. This means he can challenge again, creating a 2-for-1 exchange. Mulan, elite archer, can even spread damage to 2 other characters, making her very efficient against decks that summon multiple small characters. Ruby thrives on clearing the opponent's board while advancing your own game plan. Next up, Ruby has very good direct damage actions. Ruby has access to some of the best direct removal in the game. Brawl is a very good early game removal. Dragonfire banishes any character, no questions asked, and Be Prepared is one of the most iconic Ruby action cards. Being able to remove all characters on board makes your opponent think twice about summoning anyone, especially if you are going to be on 7 ink next turn. Having lots of direct removal lets Ruby handle evasive or high impact threats without needing to rely solely on character challenges. Ruby also allows you to summon characters while removing your opponents. Lady Tremaine, Imperious Queen, is a great card to play if your opponent only has one big character on board. That's because they have to pick that character to banish. Sisu, Empowered Sibling, can wipe your opponent's board if they have lots of low strength characters. Being able to summon characters that remove other characters on play is what gives Ruby decks so much momentum. Actions, songs, and strong characters make this color a very direct one to play. But despite its power and removal options, Ruby has some clear weaknesses. The first of which is a low card draw. Ruby lacks built-in card draw compared to colors like Amethyst or Sapphire. If your early game gets countered or you run out of gas, you may struggle to recover unless you are paired with another color that offers draw support. Next up is ink inefficiency. Ruby often plays high impact cards like Dragonfire or big challengers, but these come at high ink costs. If you're not careful, you can fall behind in ink efficiency, especially if your removal trades don't pay off. Lastly, Ruby has a rather weak early game. Ruby is one of, if not the most powerful color in the late game. But in exchange, it struggles in the early game. Aggro decks that gain lore quickly can take advantage of that. Now let's go over some standout Ruby cards that define how this color plays. Dragonfire is the ultimate removal. 5 ink, banish any character with no conditions. The 2 Maui cards are a staple in almost every Ruby deck. One has rush and the other can retrieve any action cards from your discard pile. A Pirate's Life not only gains you lore, but removes lore from your opponent as well. This helps slow down your opponent, especially if they are playing an aggro deck that has built up momentum from the early game. And of course, you cannot talk about Ruby without mentioning Be Prepared. One of the most feared cards since set 1, it is the poster card of Ruby. So how do Ruby cards usually approach the game? Early game is where Ruby is almost nowhere to be seen. Some decks do run cards like Flynn Rider, Frenemy, and the small Sisu to apply some early game pressure, but most of the time you are relying on other colors to help you in the early game. Mid game is where you challenge and remove. Cards like both Maui's, Brawl, and a Pirate's Life help you challenge efficiently, remove opposing threats, and gain lore as a reward. If your opponent is playing a setup heavy deck, Ruby punishes slow play hard in this stage. Late game is where Ruby shines. Be Prepared wipes out the whole board, and after that you look for solutions to whatever your opponent brings out. If they bring out one big character, you have Lady Tremaine, and if they summon many small characters, you have Big Sisu. Ruby is usually playing from behind. Slowly chip away at your opponent's lead and make good use of your late game advantage. Next up, we will go on to what pairs well with Ruby. Of course, this is accurate up to set 8. First up, Ruby Amethyst has been a really strong combination ever since set 1. Amethyst gives Ruby cut, draw and bounce, helping Ruby stay efficient and not run out of gas. You get great removal and strong evasive questers, one of the best tempo decks in the game. Next up, Ruby Sapphire is the ultimate control. Sapphire gives you cut, draw and ramp, making it easy to afford Ruby's high cost actions. The longer the game goes on for, the higher chance of you winning with this deck. Ruby still has lots of removal at their disposal. Steel is also great at board control, so with this color combination, your opponent's characters usually don't stay long. And with the ability to challenge ready characters as well, no character is safe against this combination. To sum up, Ruby is the color of momentum, aggression and decisive challenges. If you love playing direct, controlling the board and using your characters to challenge others, this is the color for you. So what are your thoughts about Ruby and what color would you pair it up with? Let me know in the comments. With that, thank you for coming to the end of this video. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you in the next one.